This is on imagination. So I'm at a point where when I can only see something so many times before I say, that is actually something to investigate, and it's happened. I am referring to the mirror. The mirror has shown up way too many times now for me to I can't ignore this thing. So we're going to talk about the mirror. I'm going to accumulate all of the common denominators of all of the mirrors. So the first common denominator is going to be Don Quixote and his mirror of reality. The next time I noticed a mirror was Alice in Wonderland with her through the looking glass. And then I noticed reciprocity in psychology. And then I noticed mimic and mirroring in psychology. And then I noticed projection and optic physics in physics. And now I just found something called Latin mirroring in mathematics. I'm going, wait a minute. We officially have 3 data points: psychology, physics, math. We're done. We're done. No, this is officially data now. So I'm looking at mirroring, and I'm really taking a massive step back. And I know, I can feel it. This is physics. This is all about the way the eye sees something on the outside and transfers it and reverses it, inverts it. It's literally inversion inside the optic center of the brain. I know this. I know it. So you have data coming in through the eyeballs, and then it gets inverted and replicated on the other side. And then there's another one here, of course. And then there's into the depths of the abstract, you have the mirror. Literally, there's another word for it. It's the mirror within ontology, the ontological mirror. That's what I'm going to refer to this. So this is going to be referred to the ontological mirror of comprehension. There's just nothing else. It's the comprehension. So the ontological mirror of comprehension is basically, and this is the best way to explain it. You've got the point of comprehension, which is truth, and then you have not truth. And what I've noticed is the inverted opposite. It's not just the opposite, it's an inverted opposite on the other side. So it's inverted opposites. And I'm also studying mathematics. Now, in order for me to understand something, I have to have the logic of it. I have to have the sanity of it. And I cannot have any comprehension without having the sanity or the logic of it. And in order to do that, I have to go back to the beginning of Plato's point. And so I looked for literally Plato's point of mathematics, and I found it. It's literally it's in the reverse engineering of mathematics, which took place in Persia. But Persia, when they reverse engineered it, I really think we're all supposed to be spreading from right to left. I think we got this backwards. It really is starting to feel backwards for me, like our language is on the wrong side of the mirror. And so mathematics was invented on the other side of the mirror. Literally, pure truth. Like, pure truth. They were at the point of comprehension when they reverse engineered it. And that's it. They reverse engineered it from the point of comprehension. So they were writing it all out from right to left. And I just looked at the old Persian math, the Arabic math, the Latin math, and then there's mirrored Latin math. And I can see where the Persian math, the old Persian math, is pure proper. That is them translating it, reverse engineering directly into it. And then I can see where it evolved into Arabic math. And that's probably around the 10th century when you had the Islamic Golden Age. And then in the 4th century, well, there was no education in the 4th century, but at some point, the Romans did turn it over to Latin math. And then when they invented their educational system, they implemented but they inverted it. But they didn't just invert it, they also supplemented epsilon and the Greek letters. So they merged Greek. See, that's Pythagoras. I can see a lot of Pythagoras in there with the Greek, where they took Greek letters, but they had Latin. Like, so this is where there's like this whole like hodgepodge of Persian with Latin with Greek. Literally, it's Persian, Latin, Greek. And so I'm going, there's like 4 translations happening. So by the time it gets to us in school, we've got the 4th translation, and it's all hodgepodge broken down, and it's chaotic and disorder. And I'm going, First of all, I don't know about you guys, but I did not get the operand conversation. I did not get that lesson. So I had no idea what an operand was until just now. And then I looked up operations, which simply means to alter, which I'll tell you has a whole different like medical thing in my brain now going, the operating room is the altering room, the room for alteration. So to operate means to alter. The operand is what you are altering. It's the subject of altering. So it's the subject of operations. So you have 2 plus 2 equals 5. I'm sorry, 2 plus, I saw 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So 2 and 3, I'm sorry, 2 and 3 is the operand, and then the plus sign is the operations to alter. And then you've got the equal sign. Now the equal sign represents equilibrium. That's the scale. And of course, the summation is the integrated summation. Well, see here, this question, it's not integrated because it's 5 separate pieces. So it's not integrated at all. It's the summation. So it's 5. Now, if it were integrated, then it would be 1. So 1 with 5 components. So it's integrated or it's not integrated. It is just it's 5 different units. So 2 plus 3 is 5 different units. And you've got the equilibrium sign. That's what the equal sign is. And that's reference to is it balanced with truth. And so that's the whole, they took the logic out of this, and I'm trying to put the logic back. And I found the logic, so now I'm putting it in the right order of operations. And I'm like, okay. And then I found order of operations, and I went, why do we have an order of operations? And they're talking about precedence. And I'm like, oh, that's logic. I understand precedence. And then they're explaining that basically, this is the beautiful part, is subtraction and addition happened first, so that has to happen first. And then after a while, they reverse engineered and they got multiplication and division, which means if you want to add and subtract, because it's the way it was literally disintegrated out or reverse engineered out of Mother Nature, it had to be reversed and done in the proper order to get it back into the integration. So you are literally integrating it back into Mother Nature. And that's what you're doing. But in order to integrate it, you have to follow the right order of operations of disintegration. That is why we have PEMDAS. Now I can do math better than a few minutes ago. So, so I'm going, oh, wow. And now I'm like all into this whole mirror Latin. I'm breaking down all of I found the logic of math. That's what I found was math's logic. And now it's all starting to make sense. And I'm going, oh, now I can see the order of operations, why we have the order of operations. We are literally disintegrating it back into the integration, which means it has to follow the right order of operations. So now that makes sense. That makes all sense now. It's not so much the order of operations, it's the order of integration and disintegration. That is really what you are doing, is it's the order of integration and disintegration. This is fascinating to me. So I'm looking at this mirror, and this is where I'm on my side of the mirror. And when I'm looking at people on the other side of the mirror, it's literally logic versus non-logic, logic versus illogic. It's that dichotomy. And there's this one point where you do pass through the mirror. And when you pass through the mirror, you completely redefine your center of self. That's really the difference, is your center of self, your self literally your central focal point is changed. So there's this point where your central focal point is changed. And what it is, and I see this in certain things, especially cell mitosis, where you have the central focal point, which would be the parent. Well, I have the word for this. This is the third stage of cell mitosis. This is literally when it breaks apart and then it becomes its own independent and then it separates. See, it's right there in cell mitosis also. It's called telophase. That is what I'm referring to, is telophase. Everything goes through a point of telophase. Telophase is when you are born. You basically have a focal point at the center of your mom. And then after a while, you have to separate from the mom, and then you become your own individual and you become the new center. This is telophase, when you become the center of your own universe. And at the sixth ethic, what you are doing is literally telophasing. Well, you're supposed to be doing it the third ethic, but mom and dad messed around with that, so it never took place, which is why a lot of people are over-attached to their parents, which is why a lot of people have traumas, because they can't get over what their parents did to them because they never telophased. You have to separate from your parents and telophase. I had no problems doing this ever, because by the time I telophased. So I didn't have this significant, I was never, I had the opposite problem. I was too detached from my parents. I was wandering around going, who am I? Because I couldn't figure out the truth. When I found the truth, I started to weave it together. And I always used logic and the truth as my core parent, which is why I'm right here where I am, is because I never had a problem with the telophase. The telophase is when you don't detach from your mom or your dad. It's when the creation cell does not detach from the parent cell. It's vital to disintegration. You're never going to disintegrate and grow on to be whatever you are if you never go through telophase signal. So a lot of people, when they cross over, and then here's the other thing, is you have a symbiotic, well, it's more of a parasitic. You end up with a parasitic relationship because, well, that's it. You have a parasitic relationship because you haven't telophased and you start consuming each other. So yeah, this is basically when telophase goes wrong, is you become consumed with each other. And this is what happens when you become a parasite. You attach. This is what I refer to as an emotional prosthetic. You attach to a host, which is your partner, and then you become parasitic and you consume them, and then you detach and you go on. So a person literally becomes a parasite with consumption, going from host to host, completely breaking down and disintegrating as they move from host to host. And then you cross over into telophase, and that stops because you finally have telophased. But in order for that to happen, the self, authority, and truth have to be established. So once you get a self-authority and truth, you immediately attach yourself to the next truth. And truth is the only thing that can sustain you, to nourish you. It has to take place. This is why we have to attach ourselves to truth, is so that we can get nourished, so we can continue to strengthen after our telophase stage. It's beautiful. It's like a gorgeous thing. So I'm looking at the same process in mathematics where they're talking about the mirror Latin, and I'm going, well, there's that mirror again. And there's basically, this is what I found. There's 4 translations that's taking place. And now I'm going, you've got 4 translations taking place. Every subject in all of history can be condensed into 300 pages, except mathematics. Now, that tells me that there is something seriously wrong about mathematics. Why would it take that much? It's because it's not simplified. If it's not simplified, it's because somebody doesn't understand it well enough. So I'm now looking at math going, I see a lot of logical inconsistency in mathematics, starting right away with the name, the fact that they don't even know that that's logic. The fact that it's almost completely void of logic until you get to calculus, where you have no choice but to learn logic. So now I'm like looking at mathematics going, why is this so complicated? And it should not be complicated. It should not at all be complicated. So kind of for shits and giggles, literally, just for shits and giggles, I kind of want to like simplify mathematics and get it right down to the basic core logic of 300 pages and say, here's math. Just as a hobby. I kind of want to do this just as a hobby. And it's funny because I'm sitting here like, simplify this. And I'm like, simplify or integrate? Because what you're talking about is integration. Because simplification is not the same thing as integration. Actually, it is. But you're not simplifying. What you're doing is you're just doing summation. So summarize this. You're summarizing it, but you're not simplifying it. Simplifying is integration. This is why you need linguistics and mathematics, but they don't have linguistics. So now I'm looking at it going, you don't have linguistics. Now I can see the linguistics and the logic inside mathematics, and I'm going, ooh. But again, there's nothing wrong with what we have. What we have is breathtaking. What we have is fucking gorgeous. I can clean it up though. And I really want to clean it up. So I think for shits and giggles, I'm just going to do math and I'm going to clean it up. I want to find the logic of mathematics and just simplify it and then integrate it. And then I'm going to clean this up. Yeah. I have things happening inside my brain. And the best part is I'm also studying linguistics right now, and I'm starting to reverse engineer linguistics. So this is breathtaking. So I'm reverse engineering linguistics over here. And I'm really going, I really want to reverse engineer mathematics at the same time. But I have logic, my gorgeous fucking mastery of logic right between the two of them. And I'm going, I can play with this. See, this is the shit that I can do. I'm sitting here going, what can I do? I'm going to start with this. I'm going to fix math and linguistics. Because they're the same subject. They really are. One is just words, one is numbers. But it's the same thing. Oh, no. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to simplify math on such a level. Because I'm looking at all of math and I'm going, why is it so complicated? It's like they have not simplified this at all. It is really fucking out there. And I'm looking at this thing. This is just the core basics. And I'm going, why are the core basics here? All of music theory is this big. Why is core basics in mathematics? No, somebody is no. But I'm looking at this. And this is core basics. We're going to do this. We're going to do this right now. This is core basics in mathematics. And it begins with word problems. And they've got you on geometry. This is core basics. And I'm like, this is not core basics. This is not where it begins. This is not at all where it begins. Now, I know this is not arithmetic. And this is huge. It's like it's not in our brain of where's the arithmetic, because we're all calling it math. And it's just downright annoying. Like what? Okay, so this is where I really need to sit down with Pythagoras and ask him, what the fuck is the word mathematics means? Like, I figured out philosophy, which is pure love. Literally, it translates to pure love. So now I'm asking, okay, mathematics, what is that? Because, and what's the etymology? I'm going to just do it right now. What is the etymology of arithmetic? Arithmetic etymology. Because something's fishy. I smell illogic all over it's old French, Middle English. Okay, Greek, arithmetike. Okay, arithmetike. Do not speak this arithmos. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that reeks of Persian, which means they did not invent it. They took it from Persia. Because every time there is an T-I-K-E, No. That's Persian. So we want the old naming rights. They had naming rights. So what is the old Persian word for arithmetic? Al-Khwarizmi was a polymath who produced vast, influential Arabic language works in math, astronomy, and geography. Isn't that fascinating? Fascinating. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of words here, and I'm just going, yeah, that's all Persian. This is all Persian. No. See, this is basically, so basically what this means is a lot of our words which means our understanding is botched because it's coming from a completely different culture. It's coming from Persian. So in order to understand mathematics, you have to go back to the original Persian and then translate it properly. But in order to do that, you need about 18 different languages to plug in the missing pieces. So I'm going to go back to Persia. And I'm going to start reverse engineering all of the mathematical terms. simplifying them, putting them in the right order of operations, and then simplifying them even more, and then condensing. Because no, this is definitely, this is a language. This is a language. It's a language. This has been made more complex than it ever should have been. And I'm going, why is this so complicated? This should not be complicated. Which explains why I have struggled with it, is because it's illogical. That makes so much more sense. There's so much illogic in mathematics. And when I talk to people who study calculus, they're like, yeah, all that gets cleared up in calculus. Well, what the fuck is going on with arithmetic and mathematics? Yeah, and you get to calculus and you find out, yeah, they taught us wrong. Calculus cleans it all up. Well, then why the fuck aren't you guys cleaning up arithmetic and mathematics? Because people don't know how to reverse engineer shit. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to play around. And again, I'm going to say again, I'm also doing linguistics. So this goes hand in hand, because the way you alter numbers is the same way you alter words, which is the same way you alter logic. It's the exact same formula. You're just doing it with word and symbols, which are the same thing. So, oh yeah, I'm very excited about this. I also studied hieroglyphics and symbolism. So between symbology, hieroglyphics, oh yeah, I'm excited now. Yes, I'm going to integrate them all. I'm so excited. Okay, this is what I'm going to be doing now. Thank you. May the kindest of words always find you.